Dobar dan, dobar dan. This is India u Hrvatskoj, India in Croatia news channel, and welcome to our program Chai with Ambassador. This is our way of reaching out to a cross-section of Croatian dignitaries to get their perspective on the current situation in Croatia and to get their suggestions on how we can advance the bilateral relationship. Today we are sitting in this state-of-the-art production facilities of Rimac's Automobili, and our guest is the very young, very dynamic, pragmatic, innovator and entrepreneur, Mate Rimac. Mate, I would first introduce you to some Indian chai. It has its own flavors and taste. This is our national drink. We add a lot of herbs to this, and it is also good for health.
I was very surprised when you told me that it's the same word, like in Indian and in Croatian, chai. So
Chai, absolutely.
there must be some ancient connections already.
And there are a lot of literary and language connections between Sanskrit and the Croatian language.
Incredible.
But I invite you to taste this tea.
Thank you. Cheers. Živjeli.
Živjeli.
Interesting.
And it's got health benefits. And in India we drink this a lot, and I see it is getting popular even in Croatia.
It's good. I like it.
And Rimac, you shot to stardom when you first introduced your fastest electric car in 2011 in Frankfurt. Can you take us through your incredible journey? And I know that since then you have evolved to the Concept 2 and many other systems and technologies that you have putting in place in this sector.
Oh yeah, it's a long story. So basically, it started for me quite early. I was going here in a nearby high school, and I was doing some things there, going on competitions because my professor sent me to compete, and I was the local champion for electronics, and then on the national level, and then Croatia sent me all over the world to compete for Croatia. And I won a bunch of awards for electronics and innovation. Before I was 18, I had 2 patents, patent applications when I was 17 years old. But I was always crazy about cars. And when I was 18 years old, I bought myself an old 1984 BMW 3 Series, which was 4 years older than I am. And I was just using it for some little races, but the gas engine blew up. And then I decided to combine my 2 passions, electronics and cars, and built an electric car out of that BMW. And in the beginning, you know, the car was not so good, it was not so reliable, it was slow and so on. But my goal was to prove that electric cars can be fast and exciting as gas-powered cars, or even better. So I improved the car, it got better and better. I raced against gas-powered cars and started winning, which was very surprising for everybody because nobody has done that with an electric car before. And in 2011 I broke 5 FIA and Guinness World Records with that car. But my idea was not just to improve an old BMW, but actually to make my own car from scratch. And it's a very long story.
And I believe the car was produced in this very facility.
Oh no, actually we moved a lot of times. So first the BMW was done in my parents' garage, and then when the company started, we first had a little place here nearby, Soundboard, where we built the first car. When we built the first car, it was shown in Frankfurt in 2011. We were 6 people in the company, absolutely having no idea what we were doing. Everybody was doing it for the first time, and we didn't have any experience. We didn't have enough people. We didn't have money, so we were sleeping on the floors of the company. Not paying the bills for the electricity and for the rent, and just barely managed to do this, what we were doing, with first investors coming in and so on. But to build a car, car companies, they don't really produce a lot by themselves. Most of it comes from suppliers. And when I wanted to build my car in the beginning, I didn't want to build all the systems. But the systems didn't exist to make the car that I wanted. The performance was not there, the motors, the gearboxes, the powertrain, the batteries and so on didn't exist. And for the other things that were not so strategic, it took, the suppliers that do this for the other manufacturers, they wanted millions and millions for every little piece. And we didn't have the money to pay them. So in order to build a car, we had to build a team that can build its own technologies and parts. But in order to finance it, we started to work for other car companies. So kind of out of a necessity, we became a supplier to the car industry. And now, fast forward 8 years to today, it's a very different situation. We used to be 6 people, now we are over 400, we are approaching 450 people from 26 countries, including India.
And you introduced your concept too.
Yeah.
In March 2018.
Yes, the C2. I mean, so many things have changed for us. We have all the car companies in Europe, more or less, are our clients. Renault, Porsche, Aston Martin, Jaguar, Seat, Volkswagen. I mean, we work with all of them. And we have investors from all over the world, Porsche being one of them. We do all the key components for many of the projects that are coming, for many of the hybrid and electric cars that are coming to the market. So that's a very important pillar of the business, but also we are still very much doing our own hypercars, supercars, the C2 being the new car that we have introduced in Geneva in March. But there is still a lot of work on that car. We are shipping the first cars to customers in 2020. We're now doing the prototypes, testing, and so on. But yeah, that's a big milestone for us. But every day there's challenges, and every year we had many milestones that we went through. But the C2, of course, is a big one.
Any exciting new product for the future?
Well, first, for now, the focus is the C2, bringing that on the market. And alongside the C2, we have developed so many new technologies while developing the C2.
Yeah, for the driving systems, for the batteries.
Exactly. Completely new battery, completely new motor, gearbox, inverter combination, completely new infotainment, electronics. So from these projects that we do internally, we get a lot of the components that we then sell to others. Yeah. And then we have a lot of interesting projects going on with our customers, with the car companies, where we do batteries and powertrain and infotainment and connectivity for them. So, but I can't talk about many of them that are, car developments take a long time. In some cases, 5 to 7 years, most of the times actually. We get involved very early in the projects. And as you know, the car companies are very secretive, and what we do now might come into the market in 2023 or beyond.
Sure, the Prime Minister of Croatia and your Economic Minister and Finance Minister are very pleased that you are still Croatian, you are growing, and you're getting Croatia such a big name in the business sector. Yeah,
well, one of our goals from the beginning was not just to build a company and a car and all of that, but also to show what's possible to do here. Yeah. Because everybody thought it's completely impossible and totally crazy what we are doing, and it is in a way impossible. I think the chances of getting here from where we started were like, 3% maybe, and we still have a long way to go. So the chances are higher now, but they are still not, that high that we make it in the long term. We are still a startup, but also to create jobs here. So correct. Some things that would be easier to outsource, we want to do here, because we want to create the jobs here and not in Germany or Austria or Italy and so on. So that's why we are also quite big in terms of headcount, whereas, for example, other small car manufacturers are much smaller than us because they outsource a lot
correct.
More.
So small Croatia, big ideas, big innovations, and big employment opportunities at Rimac's Automobili.
Yeah, and we still think we are still at the beginning, so we have come a long way from where we started.
But a lot of expansion plans.
Yes, a lot of expansion plans, new facilities, a lot more people than we are today, also at locations.
Correct. And I met at least a few Indian engineers here when I walked into this office. I believe they are the second largest workforce that you have in your facility.
Yeah, interestingly, we have a lot of Indian colleagues, about 20 of them, I think. Amongst the 26 nationalities that we have after Croatian, they are the most, they are the second largest after Croatian.
Hire from Tata Technologies?
We also have colleagues from Tata Technologies, from Mahindra here as well, but also people that just came here correct. From different companies to work here. We have Indian people that came from Mercedes, from Bosch, from many different companies.
Excellent. And this is a growing trend in Croatia because I see that there is a shortage of engineers, of construction workers, and I see many companies now looking at the Indian market for employment of such personnel.
Well, actually, the colleagues from India, they approach us, so we get lots of applications from Indians. We don't actively advertise in India or
Correct.
something, but I guess that the Indian people are looking for opportunities to move to Europe.
And why not Croatia, right?
Yes, exactly.
Now they're good workers?
Oh yes, definitely. Well, we get a lot of applications and we select the best, but the people that come here are great.
Excellent. You also mentioned that you have several investors in your company, including from India. And I also know that you have some sort of tie-up which is ongoing with Tech Mahindra to be able to, I believe they're in the process of producing their limited edition electric car themselves, and you're giving them all the technology support. Would you like to say anything about that? Because we are very excited about that.
Well, yeah, you talked to the Mahindra people when they were here in Dubrovnik.
Yes.
The collaboration, we are working together. The details I cannot say yet. I think it will be announced until the end of September. But it's a big project for us. It's one of the biggest we ever discussed. Yeah, so we have big Indian customers, lots of Indian employees. So I think we are, already collaborating very well with India.
And I also know that Tech Mahindra is in the process of opening a center here in Zagreb within the next 2 months or so. They will be employing around 100 engineers, and they plan to grow this to 250 engineers in the next 3 years. So I think there'll be an interesting phase for collaboration between Tech Mahindra and your company, apart from the electric car development that you are working on.
Yeah, I mean, we are also, everybody who's interested from the car industry to come here, we are helping them, and we are trying to attract companies to get here. Because it's difficult to create an ecosystem on your own, because that's consists of the universities, of institutions, of maybe the approach of the government towards those kind of companies with some benefits for R&D oriented companies and so on. So the more companies there are here, the better for everybody, and we are happy for any that are coming. Thanks.
And have you ever been to India?
Not yet. I'm sure I will have to go soon because of the collaboration with Mahindra. There's so much to do here that I almost never have vacation. When I travel somewhere, I travel for business. So now I have also a reason to travel to India.
You have to travel to India for business, for tourism, for passion,
Yeah.
for discovering a whole new world out there.
Definitely. My girlfriend is always dreaming about going to India. We'll have to do that soon.
And talking about your girlfriend and your private life and your interests, what are your hobbies? I know that you have been taking part in street car racing, etc.
What I was 10 years ago, I was just asked by some journalists like that. I give them somebody to film who is like outside of the company, like my life outside of the company. But then I realized I don't have a life outside of the company. I'm here from 7 in the morning until 10 at night, every day, Saturdays, Sundays. So this is a lifetime challenge. And with this kind of work, I still don't get like half of the things done that I would need to get done during the day. So it's just such a huge challenge to keep this going and to get it in the direction where we want, that there is not much space left for anything else in life.
This is incredible. And are you a tough taskmaster?
Oh, I think it would be good that I was a little bit tougher. To be honest, I think I was the right guy to get the company from the garage to the stage where it is right now, but I see some limitations of myself also.
Yeah.
And when the company, every time a company changes from, when it doubles basically, it's a different company and it's different processes and everything. So a company with 10 people and a company with 50 people is something different. A company with 100 people and 200 is something different, and with 200 and 400 is something very different. So every time I also have to, force myself to be different And one of the things where I'm not good at is to be a tough boss. So I think I have to improve there.
And who are your role models? I know that a lot of people compare you with Steve Jobs, including in the way you dress and the way you started your business from the garage of your parents' house. So who are your role models? What inspires you?
Well, I don't really look that much left and right. I just try to do my thing. I read a lot about others, but every business endeavor is in the end unique. You have your unique challenges, and you need to figure out things on your own. Of course, I admire Nikola Tesla. I think that a lot of what Elon Musk is doing, other than his Twitter account, is really cool, and he has achieved so much. But if it's a role model, really, I wouldn't say so. It's just, let's say, an inspiration. In the beginning, my role models were Horacio Pagani from Italy and Christian von Koenigsegg from Sweden, who were building their own supercars. And today we are friends and we work for both of them. For Koenigsegg, we are doing the battery systems and high voltage systems for the Regera. For Pagani, we are doing some other things. So from heroes and role models, they're now friends and customers. So that's kind of a little bit of a dream come true.
Yeah, but you certainly are a role model for a lot of youth in Croatia. They look up to you, they look up to your innovation, they look up to the way you have made your dreams come true, and they're working towards that as well. So what message do you have for the youth of Croatia?
I think, first of all, to see that it's possible to do something great here, and something that nobody would have guessed would happen in Croatia. Something that people would have thought it's impossible to do here, and that's what many people told me from Croatia, but also from outside of Croatia. And still, when they hear about this happening here, when they see the car and ask where it's produced, and you say it's in Croatia, they can't believe it. And it's possible. We are living in a global world. The markets are open. There is more knowledge available now than it ever was. Just on the palm of your hand with your phone or your laptop, you can learn so many things without traveling. You can listen to Harvard professors without going to Harvard. So use all of these opportunities. But on the other side, building a business, being an entrepreneur, means sacrificing everything else in your life. So it's also not for everybody.
There has to be a balance.
Yeah. So people who want to do this, they have to be ready for a lot of sacrifices in their life and be completely dedicated towards that and realize that the chances for success are slim. And it can only happen if you also have the right kind of mindset of the people around you who give everything for the common goal.
I'm sure the youth out there are listening to you very carefully. And did you also supply the technology for the electric car that was used by Prince Harry and Merkel after they got married and they drove off in the car after that?
Yeah, that was actually surprising. We were doing that project and we didn't know that this car would be used for that occasion. So yeah, that was interesting.
Oh, it was in the limelight.
Yeah. Well, this was also a nice surprise for us.
And how do you see the economic climate in Croatia? Is it getting better? Can the government do more?
That's a tough question. I think Croatia is in a depression a lot.
Still?
Yeah, both economically, but especially from the mindset. You read every day in the news that people are moving out, that there are buses of people that go to Germany, to Austria and Ireland, US and so on. And unfortunately mostly also highly educated young people. And who can blame them? There's simply not enough opportunity for those people in Croatia. People are better paid in other countries. I think Croatia lacks. In Croatia, it's very popular to blame the politics for everything. I don't think the politicians are to blame for absolutely everything. They have a big, of course, responsibility. But I think the biggest problem is that Croatia doesn't have a clear strategy of what Croatia wants really to do. Like Estonia, has a clear strategy to become the leader for digitalization and IT, and they are going in that direction and doing everything to achieve it? What does Croatia want to be? In which direction does it go? Like, I know that some other countries, like for example UK, have huge incentives to develop the industry around future mobility, electric cars, autonomous cars, and so on. And they really invest in that way and do everything to support businesses that are going in that way. Croatia doesn't have that strategy, and it's struggling with, just being, unfortunately, one of the worst economies in Europe, with a lot that comes with that. So we don't have enough money for, the retirement. We don't have enough money for healthcare and all of that comes as a result. So the politics are putting out fires instead of thinking strategically and long term. So yeah, if they can do more, of course. I mean, Croatia is in a critical situation. It's not good. It's not bad. It's catastrophic actually. And all the investments are avoiding Croatia. They are going into, Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, even
Except
Serbia.
the ones which are coming to you, at least.
Yeah, but that's an exception. That's happening despite everything else, not because of something.
Well, it's been a great pleasure talking to you. We wish Rimac, Automobili all success. Sve najbolje za tebe.
Wow.
And it was a great pleasure talking to you. Thank you
Thanks
very
a lot.
much. Hvala lijepo.
Thank you.
And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all the viewers who have been watching our show steadfastly over the last several months. This will be my last month in Croatia. I know that wherever I go, I will be carrying a part of Croatia within me. And my largest resource base has been the people of Croatia, who have given me so much love, so much affection, so much kindness, that this will see me through for a long time to come. When the going gets tough, all I have to do is direct my thoughts to Croatia, and I know I will be filled with patience, with encouragement, with hope. I would wish to thank each one of you, and watch out for India in Ireland, because that's where I'm heading to next.